Hey, Carolyn in Salisbury, North Carolina, just outside Charlotte. This is Matthew here at freeprescriptionlenses.com in Durham, the Bull City, the Dirty D here in North Carolina as well. I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare for your Coach 6052 Fannie. Of course, it's hard to see with this print inside on the temple, but this is the 6052 Fannie. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping. And of course, I'm going to include that on there when I ship to you. This is color 5214 in the 54 eye size. Of course, this is the black with the black on white on the interior. Of course, this is your Coach case, your Coach literature that comes with all the cases in every language, and of course your Coach cleaning cloth. I'm going to put that in there as well as give you one of mine. But let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to take out your original demo lenses, one of which says Coach. Pop those out real quick. And you will be receiving the original lenses, just so you know that they are authentic. But why wouldn't they be? But I'm going to take the frames, put them in the tracing element of my edger. And everyone wants to know, how does the computer know what shape lens to cut? This is why. That little stylus is going to go around and trace the shape of the right lens, and then do the same thing for the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine authentic Coach frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. If you have vision insurance or flex dollars and you'd like to get reimbursed for your purchase, you can, whether these are prescription or not. Carolyn, you know you need prescription. So that is the shape of your lens, only magnified. I'll bring it down to the actual size. There we go. I'm going to bring it back up while we work on it. Now your pupillary distance is 67, which is 33.5 in both eyes. My computer starts at 32.5. I'm going to hit this little plus emblem twice because it goes up in half millimeter increments. We're at 33. Now we're at 33.5. So that's ready. Let's go ahead and get your lenses prepped. I'm going to come down here to my Marco 101 lensometer, spin the axis wheel to 65. Now your prescription reads -4, -1 at 65. -4, -1 at 65. I'm going to put the power drum, make sure everything is zeroed out. Put the power drum on -4. Take your lens out of the protective sleeve. Put it in, rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center. Check your astigmatism correction. That looks good, and I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses, which are probably too light for you to see, so I'm going to darken those. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to put an R on there for right. Let's do the same thing for the not right lens. It's 4 1/4 -1 1/4 at 106, -4 1/4 -1 1/4 at 106. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve, put that on there, rotate the lens. Well, actually I got to put it on 4 1/4, the power drum. Rotate until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center of your lens that you'll be looking through. Check your astigmatism correction. And put 3 dots on there. So, come on dots. Uno, dos, ocho. I didn't know there was going to be so much math involved. I'm going to put an L on there, which stands for not right, just like me. Now, if you missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, it's a bad joke, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. Trust me. Okay, let's come back down here. I'm going to take your right lens, put it on the platform. This is a block. I like to call him Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. This is what's going to hold it in place in the lathe. So I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got a couple of them up here. I'm going to take that, put it on the first one. Take that, put it on the second one. In fact, go ahead and put that on the platform. Now on the back is a little silver button. That is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice today. First time in just a moment, I'm going to pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. The magnet is going to hold it in place in the arm. Now the reason why I put those 3 dots on your lenses, it has to be oriented and they're just right or you're not going to see as well. So hopefully you can see those 3 dots there. That's your optical center. And actually I want to raise the optical center in your frames there. And that the blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If you were to measure vertically and horizontally, That blue cross is going to be dead center in your frame. Now your eye is just inset from there, so that's going to go on that orange line. I get everything lined up just perfectly. Hang on 1 second. And then I hit that button. Make sure everything's lined up perfectly. I apologize, I'm just meticulous. Hit that button and the arm's going to come down and place the block onto your right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paperweight to make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet so it stays in place. Now your left eye has mirrored your right. Your 33.5 is your pupillary distance there. So we're going to put the optical center right there. Hit the button and then the arm's going to come down. Come on, arm. Come on down. It's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own. Then you can cut your own lenses at home. You won't need me anymore. But the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right hand side of the machine. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the bevel on the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now the magnet is going to do its job a second time. It's going to hold it in place in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. But I'm going to wake up the computer. That is the shape of your lens. These are, let me use my stylus, these are polycarbonate lenses. I do not want to polish the edges. I do not want to put a bevel on the front surface of the lens, the convex surface. I only want to put a bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. I'm going to hit that green button, which is to get my hand out of the way, which is start in every language. That clamp's going to shut. And then two white styluses are going to trace the shape of the lens to make sure it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's going to measure the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. Essentially the best cosmetic look possible as well. Now if you see light flickering in the background, that is water running. It's only there to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic and high index plastic cut wet. Now in the last bit of the cutting cycle, water will spray onto the lens just to wash it, but it'll cut dry until then. So that is your lens as it begins the cutting cycle. Now your lenses, as I mentioned, are made out of polycarb. And it's polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. Your lenses are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from overexposure, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that have to be reapplied every few hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. This is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now the other nice thing about your lenses, they are aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is round in every direction and it gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Aspheric is a flatter curvature, so not only do you have a thinner and lighter weight lens, the front curvature is much flatter to fit in today's flatter curvature frames. Now, you also have the anti-glare coating. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. The first feature is that it does eliminate glare, especially driving at night, but from rain, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights, that kind of stuff. Now the second feature is an anti-reflective lens. You can see how the fluorescent lights reflect off this lens in my right hand, but it doesn't from your lens. So when someone's looking at you, it makes for much better eye contact. They're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. Plus, if you take a selfie or if someone else takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in your lens. They'll see just your eyes. And the third feature that I like, which is the practical side, is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating. The machine that applies the anti-glare costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 7 different coatings onto your lens. Because of the time and the expense of applying that coating, they put the premium scratch coating to protect your lenses and to protect their time and investment. So now it's coming down. Your lens is completely flat, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out now, it would stand up on its own. But now it's getting the V-shaped bevel applied to the edge of the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So water has begun to kick in and spray on the lens. It does that for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, just to wash away any optical debris, optical sawdust if you will. Now in just a moment, an arm will come out. At the end of that arm is a little spinning wheel, something you would find on a Dremel tool. That's applying the safety bevel to the rear surface, the concave surface of the lens. Just to smooth everything out that could be left over from the cutting cycle. Now in just a moment this door will open and I'll see if the lens fits. In fact, I'm going to open the door with my mind. You like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I can. It just takes a little while, but I can do it. I just have to stare at it for a couple hours and then I'm smart enough to melt ice. Okay, I'm just going to use my thumbnail to wipe away any optical debris that may be there and then drop it on the floor. And remind the kids that, I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So if you want to grow up and make a mess, you gotta stay in school. So, I'm going to take the lens, I'm going to tuck it into the outside, and don't worry, that's not blood, that's ink from the lensometer. If this were blood, I would be crying now. That's how you can tell the difference. But I tuck it in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, I snap it in. It fits in there perfectly. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. I'm going to flip that over to L. And with the magnet, hold it in place into the chuck. Thanks, Chuck. And I'm going to hit start. Again, the door closes, the clamp shuts. And then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses. Making sure it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing that shape. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know where to place the bevel. So you have the least amount of edge thickness showing, and of course you have no edge thickness whatsoever in this frame. This plastic frame is a great, does well with your prescription. So, or even stronger than that, this would be a great choice for that. But while the left lens is cutting, let's go ahead and take this block off. It is no longer needed. I'm going to come back down here to the lensometer to verify your prescription. I'm going to turn the axis wheel back to 65, and I'll explain all that in just a moment. I'm going to put your lens in just above that red dot, which is your optical center, and measure, and I am getting -4. So the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It starts at 0 and goes up in quarter increments from there, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. So at -4 you need 16 steps of minification. That's why there's a minus sign. Without your glasses on, everything is much too large in real life. So your lenses will minify down to the correct size. Now once we're at the correct size, you need an additional 4 steps of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It fluctuates, it comes and goes. Think of astigmatism as the fine-tune knob. This first number makes everything the correct size. This takes away the fuzzy edges, so 6s and 8s or the letters P and F don't look alike. Now we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 65. A straight line is from 0 with 90 in the center and 180 on this side. We're going to turn that knob to 65, just past the 45-degree meridian, and stop about there. Now, so we're at -4 now with an additional -1 of astigmatism correction. We end up at -5. Now remember high school algebra where you add 2 like signs together? Yeah, me either. I've forgotten all that high school algebra, but let's use today's terms instead. If someone had borrowed $4 from you and they borrowed an additional $1, they would owe you $5. That's where we're at, 5 in the red. Now your left eye, a little bit stronger. You have 4 1/4. So you actually need 17 steps of far-sighted correction there. You're very nearsighted. Without your glasses on, everything up close is wonderful. If you try and reach for something beyond arm's reach, that's when you need your glasses. So 17 steps of correction there, another 5 steps, so you end up with a total of 22, but 4 1/4, 1 1/4, we're going to end up with a combined power of 550. Now and we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 106. Now, these first two numbers are real values to be concerned with. The 65 and 106 could be anywhere from 0 to 180 and really doesn't mean much. In fact, all of this might not mean much to you, but it means something to me. But so we have a combined value of -5 for your right eye, combined value of -550 for the left. So you need one step stronger in your left eye and one additional step of astigmatism correction to make everything that much crisper. That's why straight lines are a little bit better. Straight edges. Alright, so the water's running. So in that last 20 seconds, the safety bevel is being applied to the rear surface of the lens. And now, Carolyn in Salisbury, North Carolina, I want you to open the door with your mind this time. Oh, that's pretty good. Your first day on the job, and you did it right on command. Carolyn, you are good. We're going to have to work together. Use my thumbnail to scrape all that off. Look, I love it when it comes off in one piece. You see that? It's like when you clean out the lint trap in your dryer and it comes off in one piece. Oh, that's a good day when that happens. Alright, so I scrape that off and just drop it on the floor. You know why? Because it makes it look like I've been working. I can fool people that way. Where's your glasses? I've already lost them. Okay, here they are. Let's go ahead and see, make sure your left lens fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and using my thumbs, I press down at the nose. It snaps in perfectly. Let's go ahead and take this block off. It is no longer needed. Come back down here, and we're going to put it in just above that red dot. We're going to spin the fine-tune knob, the axis wheel that corresponds to your astigmatism, to 106. Put the left lens in over that red dot and read the power. And I'm getting -4 1/4. Check your astigmatism correction. And we're going to end up with a total power of 550, exactly halfway between 5 and 6. So that is made perfectly. I couldn't make that any better if I'd done this myself. Wait, I did do this myself. Alright, so your pupillary distance is 67. I'm going to turn the card around. I'm going to place my thumb against the PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then when we measure on the left, we're getting 67 millimeters. So that is made perfectly. Now this is the point in every video that I explain that when you get these in the mail, there's a very small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. And that is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and because of that, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. By the way, here is your free premium freeprescriptionlenses.com microfiber cleaning cloth. I'm just going to make sure it works. I don't want to send out a defective cloth. Yeah, it looks like it cleans pretty well, so I love doing that. Hey, when the clown gets to laugh at work, it's a good day. So, but back to work. But as I said, if these are a little loose or a little tight, just stop by your own optical shop in a town near you, and it only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust them properly. But I'm going to do that in advance, get them in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. And when I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. I have one ear that's higher than the other. So when I take mine off, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing, yo. Flip those over, press down, there is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, and the temples are not askew in any way. Now, I will be mailing these out to you, and of course, I'll include instructions not only how to care for your eyeglasses and lenses, but for your case and both cleaning cloths, so they will last you for years. No other internet seller is doing that, I am told. Plus, I send out a selfie request so to have your picture on the website. Carolyn, I'd love to have you model these for me on the website. But that's that. If anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the Contact Me button on the website. And Carolyn in Salisbury, North Carolina, just outside Charlotte, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare coating for your, I can't even read it myself, your Coach 6052 Fannie and the color 5214, the black with the black on white. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.